Hey everyone, you are with Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Ludicrous Feed Live. So good of you to join us live. If you're watching live, make sure you drop a comment in the live chat. If you're watching us on replay, drop a comment as well. Love to hear from you. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, hello and welcome as well. Just wanted to quickly say hello and thank our sponsors for tonight. We've got, I'll just show you guys. Here we go. So we've got Wallbox, thank you very much, Wallbox, for sponsoring the stream. And also thank you to Carloop as well for sponsoring Ludicrous Feed Live. So thank you, both companies. All right, well, let's say hello and welcome to our regular guests. As always, we have Rahul and Riz. Gentlemen, so nice of you to join us. We'll start with Rahul, joining us from somewhere exotic again, no doubt.
Evening, Tom. Evening, Riz. Welcome to a Wednesday night stream. Nearly called me out. A was Wednesday, and B, it's 8 o'clock. But yeah, I did look at my calendar and put the kids to bed a little bit early tonight. We're coming to you from Eden, New South Wales this evening. A couple of days here before we head back to Melbourne. But yeah, it has been a beautiful day. Went out whale watching today. So about 5 or 6 pods there. And then towards the end, we got a pod of 3 whales who were just happy to stay and play with us for as long as we wanted. Unfortunately, we had to get back to shore. But yeah, just been magnificent today. And I think the weather in New South Wales for the next couple of days is going to be amazing as well. So we might just extend our stay by another couple of days. Why would you want to leave New South Wales?
I'll stay all you like, Rahul. There's plenty of room for you and your family. But yeah, thanks for joining us, taking some time out of your holiday there. So nice of you. And yes, here we go. Rahul is joining us from Eden, New South Wales, while watching heaven, as he says, on the south coast of New South Wales. Let's say hello to Riz, one of our regular guests from Carloop. Hey, Riz, how are you today?
Hey, Tom, Rahul. Yeah, going well. I mean, how good is this? Rahul's joining us from while he's on the road on a road trip. And, it can be done in an EV, so that's good. But yeah, going well. Lots happening and lots to talk about tonight.
Yeah, that's right. There's always so much to talk about. I'm very encouraged always, whether it's good news or a bit of bad news too. So we'll touch on that, of course. But yeah, want to also appreciate everyone who's joined us tonight on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, as Rahul said, different time, different day. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, myself and Riz, we are attending the BYD Megastore launch in Sydney, which I think the seal is being launched officially as well. So we're looking forward to seeing that in person for the first time. And of course, I'll bring that video to you later on once I edit it. But it should be a good night from BYD. They always throw a good party. So looking forward to it. Let's say hello to some of our regular guests tonight. So we've got Tyrone, looking forward to Tesla Energy Retail for Australia. Yeah, we'll certainly talk about that for sure. Graham Watson watching from Shepton in Victoria. Enjoyed a couple of open sunroof days in the Atto 3 this week. Riz, it must have been warm in Victoria as well.
Yeah, it is. You can actually walk out with a t-shirt tonight. So I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, it's starting to warm up only slightly. Not as good weather as it is up there in New South Wales.
That's right. Beautiful one day, New South Wales the next, right? That's what we are. Oz Screamer says, evening, everyone. Nice to see you there, Oz. And Jess Camp Jazz. Hey, everybody from somewhere close by. Yeah, nice to see you on. Jace says, good evening from Tassie. And David says, hello from South Australia, not South Africa. And Peter says, g'day from Canberra, where this mountain of IKEA furniture packaging keeps growing. It doesn't help that I'm still buying more, of course. I think Peter is moving, so good luck to you, Peter. David says, hi from Orange. Kevin, as always, from Lakeland, Florida. Nice to see you, Kevin. And yeah, Sensei, which family member of Tom has a birthday tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, not tomorrow, Sensei, just the BYD event this time around. Louise says, good evening from sunny Sydney. Jeff says, evening all. Electric Car Australia, nice of you to join us, fellow YouTuber. Evening, gents, watchers. Hello there. Chris is saying, good evening from very wet and windy Perth. Not on the East Coast, Chris. Not this time. We've got John saying, good evening, Tom and Riz, from John and Fiona and Katoomba. Nice to see you. Oh, Kia Nero 21 owners too. That's great. Oz Cream, I give this directed to you, Rahul. Photos. We might have to share Rahul's photos later. We've got Jez saying Rahul's streaming from the Tesla. Looks kind of scary. No. Rahul's not scary at all. It doesn't bite. And Sydney Evie says hello. And also we got Oh, Justin O'Byrne, Riz, says just saw a 2022 Model X Plaid that cost $135,000. It was offered a $65,000 trade-in. Wow, isn't it? 2 year or 1 year? Brendan, no, you didn't miss anything. Welcome. It's okay. Better late than never. And It Drive says good evening as well. Gents, as we said, lots to talk about. What should we discuss tonight? First up.
Charging, NRMA. What's happening?
Yes. Good stuff, Riz. That's a very good thing to start with. All right, let's put this one up. So yes, the NRMA X today, very important news. Let me just share the screen real quick. All right, so finally, the 2 weeks is up, everyone. The NRMA has officially announced via their X account that they will be, starting late September, announcing their pricing for select EV sites. Super exciting stuff. This is something we've been waiting for a long time for pricing. We've discussed as many times on the stream that DC charging probably shouldn't be free. It's probably doing a disservice, I think, in the long term. Good, the NRMA, which has one of the largest, I don't know, is it the largest charging network in Australia currently, has finally going to put up some pricing in their app starting late September, and then a complete rollout to all remaining sites by late October. So yeah, as promised, later this year. So it's good to see they've kept to their word, and SMS notifications for charging progress. Guys, I was kind of hoping that the NRMA would sort of piggyback on the ChargeFox network. I mean, thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a good start, but it's in some ways slightly disappointing because that means we need another app, and not everyone has my NRMA app, which I think I tried to download it earlier today, and it said I needed $5 a month or whatever membership to sign in or something along those lines. But maybe I wasn't looking at it right. But I agree, Tom. It should have piggybacked off ChargeFox, which, according to ChargeFox, nearly 80,000 plus downloads of that app. So if there's around 125,000 EVs in the country now, 2/3 of us have the ChargeFox app. So I don't know what that means, but at least it's a good start. It's nevertheless a good start. We've been asking for it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it is a good start. Hopefully via the NRMA app, you can access the ChargeFox software as well. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But Riz, good point that you've got to possibly pay to download the app because I mean, I've got the access to the app, but I'm an NRMA member. So maybe they're asking us to sign up as members, and then maybe members get free charging. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just speculating. But you're right. I mean, another app at the moment. Rahul, you've been on the road. Have you used an NRMA charger recently?
I don't think we've used a NRMA charger, and I think Riz makes a pardon me. Pardon me, guys. I think Riz makes a good point. Coming from Victoria, we actually don't have NRMA. We have the RSCV. If you're from Queensland, you've got RSCQ, and then I think if you're from Adelaide, you've got RAC. So yeah, having access to that NRMA charging facilities obviously means it's a little bit more trickier for us because we'd have to download another app. And if it's a cost of an extra $5 or another app, obviously just adds to the distraction of having another charging app on your phone. But I do commend NRMA for finally getting their act together in terms of not having their chargers just free for members and putting on charging costs starting from first or second week of October.
Yeah, I think they're going to be sharing their prices shortly and then updating their FAQ. I think September they're saying they will be rolling it out into some select sites. I mean, look, if they do announce that they've got another app, it's a trade-off. I know, another app to add to your phone or device, but the alternative is camping, right? We don't want people camping on free chargers, as Sydney EV says here. Finally, no more camping on chargers. Otherwise, people just freeload. They just sit there and charge. So it would be interesting, Riz, you've got the data, whether with the NRMA launching paid charging, whether it'll start to distribute people towards other chargers like ChargeFox EVs, even Tesla superchargers.
I think that would be worth noting. And the other quick point is I wonder how much of Tesla's recent decision to open up nearly half of their network has pushed them to sort of say, oh, we better do something. Otherwise, people will, get to our chargers and they can't charge because someone else is camping there. It's definitely a good start. Any price on any charger, it needs to be paid. That's the only way it's going to be sustainable. But I'd like to think, even if we do have to download the My NRMA app, it doesn't require a login. It should basically work as a payment gateway. Like, maybe you need to create an account, but yeah, yesterday I tried and you needed to, I think, pay $5 a month. So you download the app for free, but then it's whatever their membership is. But hopefully they have an interstate tier or some sort of a tier, because what would be even more interesting is what will happen to the federal government 117 sites that NRMA is sort of part of the rollout. If that's going to go on the My NRMA app, then that's a bit of an issue, because there's people in WA that will never ever see, unless they really are traveling to the East Coast, they wouldn't see an NRMA site. But I guess we'll find out. It's early days, but it's good to see.
Yeah, that's right. Good point, Riz. As I'm just about to put up this picture here. So the majority of NRMA charges are in New South Wales, as you can see. There's a couple in Victoria, a couple in South Australia, a couple in Queensland, I think. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the NRMA is based in New South Wales. It doesn't make sense to be a member unless you're probably in the state. So whether, as you said, Riz, just like a casual member, or at least log in with a non-member details that you can use the charges, or obviously in an ideal situation, you'd have tap and go, like, tap a credit card or swipe a credit card. That'd be an ideal thing to do, but I guess we can only wish for that. I mean, I know they want apps to, sort of collect data, but surely the NRMA would have had enough data in the last 2 years, or do they not collect data with the free charges currently?
I'm sure that with the Tritium backend, they should have access. They surely know what sort of bill they're paying for electricity. So I guess if that's the case, then yeah, I think they may call it a bit of a trial, but I guess in the next couple of weeks we will find out. But as you mentioned earlier, Tom, it'd be very interesting to see if some of this charging increases on ChargeFox EV networks and other sites, particularly in New South Wales, now that the freeloading is sort of gone, or we expect it to go.
Yeah, that's right. So Peter says that NRMA owns 2 chargers in Mildura, Victoria, and then one in Berry and Tanunda in South Australia, which I think is the Barossa Valley, I think, from memory. And yeah, Peter also says it's funny that NRMA bought all the ChargeFox 350 kilowatt chargers in New South Wales a few months ago, and they're on the ChargeFox app, but NRMA owns a separate network of chargers now going on a separate app. To me, it's sort of weird. I guess we'll see what happens. I personally think, that it should be open to everyone the same way I think Tesla superchargers should eventually be open to everyone, becomes a free market, becomes price-based. That way you don't get the angst of, non-Tesla vehicles looking at Tesla owners using NRMA or ChargeFox or EV. It's all good, right? You don't have, what's the word? You don't have sort of loyalty or snootiness, with ICE cars. Why is this brand using that petrol pump? It doesn't make sense. It's electrons. It should be shared by all. So yeah, hopefully, this will encourage, people just to start using other brands, and less of the angst towards Tesla owners using NRMA chargers and so on. So we're all good. We're all EV owners. We're all in it together. That's my opinion. Thanks, Sensei. $2 for a Fiji water bottle at BYD event. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sensei, as always. And yes, David's right. Well, I'm right. So thanks, David. He says Tanunda is in the Barossa. You're right. Thank you. Screamer, why can't they do card readers? If you turn up to a country town, you might not have phone reception to download an app. Yeah, good point. That's a very good point. For that reason, I have an RFID card for, ChargeFox and EV, just in case I'm in a basement car park where the charger is and I can't use the app. I do recommend people who travel regularly to do that as well. Manya's saying NRMA going to try to be the Electrify America of Australia. For those who don't know, Electrify America's got a few problems at the moment with connectivity and stuff and issues over there. So hopefully not. Hopefully NRMA will be beyond that and be the network people use, because they've got most number of chargers, I think, at the moment. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Sydney EV says, sounds like they need to develop a system and payment system that covers both ChargeFox and NRMA. That'd be ideal. Or find a way to activate the pay pass options on the chargers. That would be great because the facilities there already.
So what about, I guess, if there's 80 or 1,000 downloads of the ChargeFox app, given, sort of the motoring club's own ChargeFox, what if there was a way of using your ChargeFox credentials in the NRMA app so that, you only have to use your ChargeFox credentials, you just download the app, you log in, NRMA knows you're a ChargeFox member, and, that's the way the payments should be done. But I think technically, maybe they'll wait for the feedback amongst, early adopters or early users. But either way, we'll find out. I'm sure Tom will get a chance to test it out as soon as it sort of all goes live, and we will get to see some cool videos on how it's all done.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great idea, Riz. Hopefully someone from the NRMA is watching tonight. We're giving you guys good feedback, right? This is the ground floor kind of feedback. I think that is a really good idea. ChargeFox credentials in the NRMA app. And then you can use your RFID card as well at the NRMA charges. That just makes sense to me. We'll see what happens. Matthew Russell, good hack there. You can use either ChargeFox or EV's RFID card for both systems, so you don't have to carry two, just carry one. Someone saying my voice is slightly abnormal. Well, is it the hazard reduction smoke in Sydney at the moment? It's causing issues with my respiratory system, so I do apologize if that is causing it to come through on the audio. So it is quite smoggy in Sydney at the moment. Manya's saying, on my trip to New South Wales the other month, I never got a chance to use an NRMA charger because they're always busy. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because they're free, they're going to be busy a lot of the times, particularly during those busy periods. So I'm glad the NRMA is doing this. Cool. All right. Well, if you guys have any more NRMA points, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next story. Gents, what shall we talk about next? Rahul, any suggestions?
Oh, you got me there right off the cuff there, but happy for whatever's next on the agenda, gents.
Okay. Well, let me suggest one real quick. This is just an update from our good friend Chris Vanderstock, who is obviously involved with the High Court challenge in Victoria at the moment, and it looks like, if I read this correctly, EV tax update. The High Court of Australia announces previous decisions at the start of sitting days. We don't get advanced notice, so we'll hopefully hear about it sometime this week, meaning the midweek in September or mid-October maybe. It's only the biggest constitutional question on tax in 25 years. So hopefully Chris will have an answer for us in the next month or so with regards to the road user charge in Victoria, which is, gents, 2.5 cents per kilometre, I think, at the moment.
It's a little bit higher now. I think maybe it's 2.8. I mean, we don't know. We just pay whatever they send us, Otherwise, we get locked up. So, yeah, we just do what they ask us. Yeah. It would be good to get an update on that for sure, because it is a pretty contentious issue, especially given we've got no subsidies in the state anymore. So, yeah, we'll look forward to it.
Yep. We'll see what happens. We'll get Chris on the show maybe to give us an update. Otherwise, Rahul, you might get stuck in New South Wales. You might not be allowed to come home. We'd love to have you.
Bad thing.
All right, let's move on to, of course, this speaking of contentious issue, battery fire. Sydney EV brings on probably the news of the week. Let's put this on the stream right now. So for those who didn't know, so there was a EV battery fire, EV fire in Sydney Airport. The ABC's article probably tones it down a little bit. I saw another article in the Fairfax papers saying that luxury electric vehicle catches fire in Sydney. If you watch this video here, I'll just show you. Here we go.
This is a job out at Mascot overnight. What we got is the casing.
So I'm not sure if the audio is coming through.
Impacted by fire. That does appear to be the area of origin. We've got radiant heat to the other vehicles around it. This vehicle here is actually the one that the battery unit had come out of.
So I'll pause it there because it's clearly not a luxury vehicle. I mean, I don't think it is. It's an MG ZS EV. I think most EV owners would appreciate that it's not really luxury.
Is that a ZS, Tom, or a HS hybrid?
Oh, Riz. I don't know. I don't
Because
know, actually.
it looks like the engine is still somewhat, because they have a MG HS plug-in hybrid.
Yes.
I wonder if it is, but if it is the ZS EV, because the wheels look like the ZS EV. Yeah. Anyway, well, just my comment, but I agree, it's not a luxury vehicle.
No. I mean, you're right, actually. I didn't even think about the HSEV. I just first thought it was just ZSEV, but I mean, the ZSEV is not a ground-up EV. The battery's at the front anyway. So I don't know, to be honest. If anybody in the chat has any more information, we just assumed it's just a ZSEV. But from what I've seen so far on socials this week, it's that this is not actually the main. Well, I know for sure this is not the main Sydney Airport car park, any of them for the matter. This is a holding area. I don't know what holding area it's for, but I think this might be a damaged vehicle with a damaged battery, because the battery was actually separate to the vehicle anyway when this happened. So I don't know how the fire happened, unless someone has more information, but clearly there was something wrong with the car to begin with. So this is a developing story, everyone. Let's see whether we've got any information in the chat. Let's see, guys. Thanks so much. So Sydney EV saying looks like an engine block in the front, as Riz, you said. Sensei saying was battery removed from an MG ZS EV. And we've got Electric Car Australia saying, lol, we have a ZS EV and it's not luxury. No, I think it's a front motor, actually.
That is.
Matthew Russell saying HS is rounded at the back. Okay. Oliver's saying, I think this is ZS EV because HS is longer, the rear window is smaller.
Right.
Electric car saying, agree, wheels look like ZS, but the engine bay does look like it has some engine components. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Sydney EV, some saying it's a holding area for damage. Okay, so Matthew Russell, thank you. I sent you that story, Tom. Yes, you did. I didn't check. You did tag me on X. Let's have a look. And it looks like it was a punctured pack left in the rain. There you go.
Oh.
Interesting. Let me see.
Is that what they call purple rain?
That's funny. Okay, yes. So let me see. Yes, okay. So Matthew has linked to me on X an interview with the fire chief saying that it was. Let me just read your X here. It was an accident where the battery was punctured. They removed it and put it next to the car. I'll just share it now for you guys. They put it next to the car in an accident. They removed it and put it next to the car, waiting for a new one. They didn't discharge it, and when it rained, the water got in and shorted it. That's quite plausible. So there you go. So yeah, that's interesting. The battery was already outside of the car. The car pack might not have come from the car at all. Well, I think they removed it from the car. There was the puncture already, as Matthew's saying. Yeah, look, bottom line, everyone, if no matter what vehicle you drive, electric, powertrain, or otherwise, just be careful if you've damaged it. Don't leave batteries out in the rain. I guess that's the other bottom line too. Look after your car. So, I don't know, gents. Do you think this story was possibly overblown?
Oh, massively. I mean, I just want to step in there, Tom, and just say how many cars catch fire, have accidents, get damaged. For whatever reason, ICE cars globally, let alone just even in Australia. But those stories never gain a whole lot of traction. Having been in Sydney and in New South Wales for this whole sort of past week, I've been turning on the news, which is obviously local news, and hearing stories. And one of the ones that gained a little bit of traction, but obviously not as much traction as this story, was the 3-car pileup of the Harbour Bridge, which stopped traffic in both directions for well over 3-4 hours. But hey, you know what? Didn't catch that much sort of traction. And somebody also mentioned as well, if it's a Tesla or an electric car and it has a situation like this, it's obviously a huge story with lots of misinformation thrown in there. So obviously it wasn't that the battery was in the car and itself ignited or self-imploded or any of that matter. Obviously somebody's done the wrong thing, not understood what the correct procedure is in discharging a a battery that's been taken out, and that's what's caused the issue. The fact that it was next to a other cars, obviously they are going to catch fire as well. But yeah, the fact that it was next to Sydney Airport probably just exacerbated that situation. A lot of clickbait in there. But yeah, you know what? Good to know for the community, or as to what to do with a battery that's been damaged in future.
No, good summary there, Rahul. I think that's the bottom line, right? Look after your batteries. If there's a problem with it, be careful. It's possibly going to catch fire, like any sort of car that is damaged. Just be careful, no matter what powertrain. I've got some stats from the NTSB, which is the National Transportation Safety Board in the US, saying that 25 out of 100,000 EVs sold caught fire in the recent study, compared to 3,474 catching fire for hybrids and 1,529 for petrol and diesel cars. So, yes, EVs, when they catch fire, it's quite catastrophic like that, but it's so rare. It's like almost a hundredth of a petrol vehicle, and certainly much less than a hybrid as well. So get your facts right, everyone. If someone asks you what happened to Sydney Airport with an EV fire, that's the bottom line. It was a damaged vehicle. Yeah, so that's that story. But look, in some ways, it's probably good to have that out in the open. I've been asked about it a few times this week. I'm glad I've got some, knowledge of what happened. You can explain it to people, and most people are generally understandable. Like, oh, okay, that's what happened. It was a damaged vehicle, as opposed to, oh, this car spontaneously caught fire at Sydney Airport. That's a bit dangerous. But you know what? EV, Sydney Airport, luxury vehicle, makes a great story, right?
Yeah, I think it's also important that the fire authorities and everyone did an amazing job at explaining things. So even in that ABC article, I think they mentioned that we want to clarify that it's not, it's electric cars are not the issue. We're not concerned about them. It's something like that. I mean, I quickly skimmed through it. So really good to see the way they've managed it, transparently documented it, and shared it. And if other media wants to go out there and pick it up, then yeah, it's their issue.
Yeah, that's right. The ABC article was a lot more balanced, and hats off to the fire crews who actually kind of not defending, but they're putting the facts out to saying EV fires are rare. And I think Emma from EV Fire Safe is doing a great job as well, dispelling myths, putting facts out there about EVs and the rate of fires, and what to do during a thermal runaway situation, which is, of course, very rare as well. So anyway, that's that story. I'm glad we've cleared that up. That's, as I said, it's a developing story, but we'll certainly keep you guys abreast, and we'll talk about it again next week if there's any more developments. Let's take some more comments from the audience. Let's see if there's anything else. It's a dangerous high voltage battery. Why would someone do that? Yeah, I think it's a damaged vehicle, Louise. I'm not sure whether it was stolen or what. It was jacked, to be honest. Why would you want to jack a traction battery? That's super dangerous. Man, you're saying obviously autopilot had something to do with this fire. Yeah, look, I mean, luxury vehicle, people think, oh, it's got to be a Tesla, right? Tesla. If someone asked me, was it a Tesla? Well, if it was a Tesla, it would be front and center of the headline. Trust me, you would know if it was a Tesla.
Elon Musk's car catches on fire at Sydney Airport.
I don't know what he's doing here, but it's his core caught fire. So Peter Cook, it's a learning experience. There's a kernel of truth among the haters. If an EV is damaged, park it away from other cars for a couple of days. Certainly don't park on the ground for a few days. Yep, good advice, Peter. Yep, get it checked out straight away. Okay, thanks everyone. What else have we got? Mania, I never knew you could get your battery replaced at the airport. This is the discount Neo dealership, NIO. Yeah, agreed. Oliver, strange that the battery was just left out in the open. I agree with you. This is a good point. Oscreamer, Fire Brigade is more concerned about Kmart electric scooters more than anything else. Yeah, there's a lot more to be worried about those mobility type devices for sure. Skateboards, hoverboards, scooters, bikes, you name it. Peter Cook says the airport is a wide open space in a heavily developed city. It's where you store things. It was amazing how many rental cars were stored there in 2020. Yep, true. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone. That's thanks for your input as well. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on to the next story, gents. What else have we got to chat about?
So Tesla, I think this week announced that they have rolled out 50,000 superchargers across the world. And I think in 2012 there were just 6 stalls. Now there's over 50,000 of them.
Yeah, that is something to celebrate for sure. So let me just play this short really quick. Oh, sorry. 50,000 worldwide. Oh, okay, one setting. Okay, so yeah, that's huge. Amazing, 50,000. How many have we got in Australia, Riz?
I think last time I checked there were 300-ish. I'll come back to you with the exact stat of how many stalls we have.
Yeah, and growing by the day too. So
yeah, great progression. The fact that they're obviously opening up their supercharging network to other providers as well, and everyone's adopting the charge, the port sort of the CCS2 or the NACS as a standard. Amazing as well. So obviously a lot of revenue there as well. And you know what? Big numbers, 50K. How does it affect us? For me personally, Riz, thank you for letting me know that Tesla have opened up chargers in Abbotsford, which is very close to my place. I can't wait back to get home and use those chargers, because the Richmond chargers, unfortunately, are always busy, being such a small sort of site and being a service center now for Tesla as well. So yeah, big picture 50K, but yeah, it affects me personally. I'm so looking forward to being part of that. That amount of people that use these Tesla chargers, and obviously more to come. I don't know what time frame it took for us to get to 50K, but I imagine that would be half the time it's going to take us to get to 100K chargers in the future.
Yeah, so for me as a non-Victorian, where is Abbotsford? Because I agree, the Richmond one, there's only 4 in town. So is it close by to the centre of the Melbourne CBD?
Yes, correct. It is.
It's closer than
closer.
Richmond.
Oh,
yeah,
even better.
So the next suburb from Richmond is Abbotsford, which is next to the Victoria Gardens shopping centre, which is where IKEA is, along Victoria Street. Loads of amazing Vietnamese restaurants there as well. So a good lot of cafes close to the Yarra River for bike trails and stuff, and then onto the M1, access to the M1 there, Riz.
It's in between the Eastern Freeway and the Monash Freeway, but
Monash, the Eastern and the Monash, yes.
Very close to the MCG.
Oh, good. Okay. It's a shame there's only 4 still, because I think there's only 4 in Richmond as well. So it'd be nice if there were more. Yeah, so Shalendra is saying it's near IKEA. And it's Tesla is stealth opening a lot of superchargers. Hey, it's fine by me. Keep them coming. We don't need to know. Just do it. I mean, we do need to know eventually, but just open them. Question from Sensei: are right-hand drive Teslas 100% thief-proof? Is this a joke? I mean, I don't think anything's 100% thief-proof. Although it is hard to break into a Tesla with the cameras and PIN code and all the immobilization stuff. Are you talking about right-hand drive Model S's and X's? Maybe they are maybe thief-proof because they're not here. But no, nothing is thief-proof. Sensei, just saying. And Blue is saying Tesla definitely seems to be adding more and more superchargers around the world and more frequently. Yeah, it's a good thing. And look at this cute little picture here. Family trip. How cool is that? Got the semi. What else have we got? We've got Model. I think that's a Model S. Yep. Model 3. The old Model 3.
Yeah.
Model Y. Cybertruck. Model 3 again. Model X, Model Y, I think. Yeah, cool. Whole family's there.
The future.
That is the future. Yeah, and a good point. You probably should put pin to drive. I put pin to drive all the time for my Tesla. Just saying. Cool. All right. Well, that's 50,000. What else have we got? I think in China too. Let's some sales figures we can share real quick as well. So this is Sawyer saying Tesla in China, August 2023 sales data, 84,000 wholesale, which is 64,000 domestic and 19,000 export, of which Australia is a country. Just goes to show how many cars they still service in China for their own market. It's amazing, really.
I think the other interesting point is they kept saying around factory shutdowns because of the Model 3 Highland upgrade. Doesn't look like August has had that much of an impact. So Tesla has figured something out of how they were going to seamlessly shift and build those cars while still building the older cars, while doing the factory upgrades that they needed to make the shift on assembly lines. So yeah, production hasn't really impacted as much. So September would be interesting, and I think by October, November, we will know the true run rate of Shanghai, which is well over 1 million cars a year now.
Amazing. Closer to home, Tesla could be on track to deliver close to 50,000 vehicles in Australia this year for the first time. 150% increase over the prior year if it maintains its current trajectory. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So I remember not that long ago we hit 50,000 EVs in general. That was like probably early last year or something. So it's good. We're doing well. Let's have a look at this. So staying with we stay with Tesla. Let's see what else that we got. Let's have a look at this article. So fast charging stations now borrowing. Did we do this last week? We might have. Anyway, I'll do it again. So time of use charging rates in this article from The Driven, 40 cents per kilowatt hour during sort of daylight hours, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then more expensive every other time. So I guess taking advantage of renewables during the day. It's good to see. And just back to Tesla again. The top of the line Tesla Model S Plaid in the US is now cheaper than the base Porsche Taycan. So just a bit cheaper. And arguably better specs. Well, not really. We've got 5.1. Oh, sorry, I'm looking wrong around. So base Taycan is 5.1 seconds for 0 to 60, 225 mile range, or rear-wheel drive, and then Plaid Model S, much better specs, 2 seconds 0 to 60. 396 mile range, all-wheel drive. So I don't know. Seems to be better value. I guess it comes down to whether you like the look of the Taycan or the look of the Plaid Model S.
Well, if you buy the Taycan, you might be Taycan for a ride because you pay so much money and you don't get much with it. But anyway.
Nice. Riz comes in with the dad jokes. Love it. Okay, moving on. We've got EV Brief, one of our friends from Australia is, I guess, in the UK, or maybe just reporting on the fact that BP opens the UK's largest public charging hub at the NEC Birmingham. 16 ultra-fast 300 kilowatt DC chargers, 2 with accessible bays, and 150 level 2 7 kilowatt charging bays, allowing for 180 EVs to be charged simultaneously. Amazing. Fastest charging costs 85 pence per kilowatt hour, which is I think $1.50, $1.60 thereabouts. When using contactless payments, how good's that? And drops to 69 pence per kilowatt hour, which is I think $1.40, $1.30, in conjunction with a £7.85, which is I think $15 monthly subscription. So let's have a more of a sticky beak at their charging site. So assuming this is all the fast charging bays on the right here with solar panels, and then you've got a parking lot with a heck of a lot of slower chargers, which is fantastic. 180 cars charging at once. Like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think just quickly going to go back on that $5 fee for the NRMA app that you were referring to, Riz. I wonder whether that becomes a norm for providers to sort of make some sort of money, because I think the NRMA email or the X tweet also mentioned that some of the funding that they're getting or some of the money that they're going to make from this will go towards the maintenance and the repair of some of these chargers or increasing their network as well. So, are we potentially looking at having some providers charging us a subscription fee for cheaper charging rates as well? It remains to be seen. The take-up, obviously, love the fact that they've got so many chargers in one state. Would love to see this in Australia somewhere, at least in one space. Let's say between Melbourne, Sydney, being such a huge corridor. But we'll be waiting for that. I think the numbers in the UK have also gone up in terms of EV uptake. I think year on year, I read somewhere that it was a 72% increase. It wasn't a tweet somewhere. I'd have to find it. Don't know offhand. I could be making the numbers up, but I do believe that the numbers had gone up by 72% in the UK. So obviously, uptake in the UK is a lot higher than it is for us.
16%, 16 to 18% on an average month is sort of their uptake rate. So
That's
for
incredible.
pure battery electric vehicles, so that's 70% year on year. Sounds about right, Rahul.
Yeah, amazing. And look at this picture here. There's probably a little, service area too, where you can sit down and chill or whatever, get a cup of coffee while your car is charging. So that's kind of stuff we need. It's this Roundup charging site. So hopefully we'll see that, as Rahul says, in Australia coming soon. Sydney to Melbourne, Sydney to Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, those kind of corridors is where we should probably see them. They're very, very popular thoroughfares. Let's take a few comments from the audience while we take a little break. And I just want to quickly mention our sponsors again for tonight, Wallbox and Carloop as well. Thank you very much to these two companies sponsoring our stream for tonight too. Thank you so much. All right, let's take some comments from the crowd. We've got, let's scroll back a bit here. We've got Matthew saying, it was good to see Pepsi in California saying they're 100% confident with the Tesla truck doing 400 miles. Fantastic, even with the payload. Phil Smith, is it 50,000 sites or charging handles? I think it's locations.
It's handles. Yeah.
Or handles. Oh, okay, apologize. Yeah. Okay. And actually, just a funny point. I've got the GWM Aura this week, by the way, just for a day or two. And one of the little blurbs I've got on one of the labels, they call the charging plug a gun, which I found interesting. Must be lost in translation somewhere. Whatever it is, it's charging the car. Ozcream is saying that export number is lower than BYD's. Okay. Mm-hmm. Peter Cook, good point, actually. Pin to drive matters if you wipe your MCU clean. Otherwise, it's easy for a thief to see where the numbers are. Although I've noticed the pin screen does move around the screen a bit. So just for that particular reason. But good point. Yeah. Keep your screen clean. It gets grubby pretty easily, unless you've got a cover or a screen protector or something. Alan's got a question for us. For non-Tesla owners charging at a Tesla supercharger, I have a GV60, Genesis GV60, and charging speed seems to be throttled to 42 kilowatts. Try multiple sites, all the same result. Yeah, I've seen this too, actually, particularly at Gen 3 Tesla superchargers. I think someone with an EV60 said to me the same thing too. So, I might just put this up here that Riz just shared with me. So this is Riz's MG4 press car charging at a Tesla supercharger in Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. There we go. Now, the MG's top charging speed is only about 60, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Riz.
Yeah, they claim up to some models it's 60, 70, others it's 130, but I don't think we're going to get 130 with it. The maximum I got, and I was sort of, over 50% state of charge when I plugged it in, was around 53 kilowatts. But maybe the superchargers are V3, because this is a V3 site, as you say there, Tom. Maybe they're geared for 400 volt cars. So I'm not sure whether Tesla will learn and actually do that. One interesting point could be, for anyone that's interested, is have a look at some of the videos on YouTube from out of the UK and see what non-Tesla owners are sort of getting at Tesla superchargers there.
Yeah, it seems like the V2 chargers are faster than the V3 at the moment. Again, whether they're testing, I don't know. And just as for those who aren't familiar with V2 or V3, if you see one plug like that, then it's a V3 supercharger. If you see two plugs, it's a V2. Okay, so Shailendra saying Tesla is building a supercharger near Gladstone in Queensland. Okay, very good. That's a good one to have, actually, because I think the most northern Tesla supercharger in Queensland is the Sunshine Coast. So Gladstone's just a bit further than the Sunshine Coast, which is great. You can continue your trip up there. Okay, Sydney EV saying just looked at supercharger map. Port Augusta, Apollo Bay listed as vote winners. Oh, and coming soon. Oh, that's great. Apollo Bay on the Great Ocean Road. That'd be a good place to stop and charge. Matt Constance is saying the rumors of Model Y production stoppage in Texas, possible line upgrades. Interesting. That'd be good. Okay. Apparently, the new Tesla update will improve the dash cam to look more natural. More natural, as in the color gradient. Is that what you're referring to? Possibly. It does look a bit washed out and warm at the moment, I must say. Brenton saying, I'd love to buy a block of land and create a solar assisted charge station. That would be cool. Surely it'd be a great investment with battery packs. Sensei makes a good point. Soon we'll have about 100 different monthly subscriptions for all sorts of services, products in our lives. Well, it's already happening with streaming, right? And music and content. Actually, Rahul, you were saying earlier about the UK with the subscription. I think the Tesla already offers that to non-Tesla vehicles. There's a subscription to lower your charging fee. So that's kind of a good model they've got.
Is that here or is that in the US or in the UK?
No, it's happening here already. $10 a
right.
month gets you a cheaper charging rate for a non-Tesla EV.
There we go. Yeah. And just quickly, cottoning on to what somebody just said about putting up solar assisted or solar charging stations as well. I went past Pheasant's Nest, the charging station there. Didn't charge, but that site looked amazing. I think it's a BP charging station. Solar panels there, under shade, close to amenities, food, plenty of parking there. It's well sited, well signposted as well. And I think one on northbound, one on southbound as well. I think for me, seeing all the chargers, and this includes Tesla as well, probably one of the best charging infrastructures that I've seen in Australia so far. Pity there's only 2 so far, but I think they have room to ramp it up to more as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, Riz and I visited that Pheasant's Nest site on our MG4 trip, and I agree, Raoul. It's like, for me, that's personally the gold standard at the moment.
100%.
Yeah, it's northbound, southbound. It's got everything you need. It's even got the squeegee, water bucket, air compressor. I feel loved when I'm there as an EV owner. So, yeah, I know it's a fuel company, but hey, if it's comfortable, I'll use it. So, hats off to Ampol for doing that. Okay, so Matthew's saying, I was in the UK in June, BEVs everywhere, a huge difference from 3 years ago when I was there. Yeah, it's good to hear. Let's see, what else have we got? So Phil Smith saying Cairns now has a mobile-based Tesla technician, which will take some pressure off the busy Townsville-based technician. I agree, Blue. Aura does look pretty nice, I agree. And Oliver saying, saw a video of an Ioniq 5 also doing 42, and I can confirm that someone with an EV6 sent me a video of them only doing 42 as well at a Tesla supercharger version 3. Okay, electric car saying, couldn't get the 2020 model ZS EV to charge at Rochdale supercharger this week. Video to come soon. Okay, we'll be checking other sites over the next few weeks. Thank you for that. Shalendra's saying mobile service came today for Tesla, tire rotation and home link install. How good's that? And a blue Model Y like me. Cool. And what else have we got? Lots of comments. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate this. Okay, Kangaroo saying, good news, my Polestar 2 delivery is back on track for next month. Excellent. Will that be the new rear-wheel drive variant, Kangaroo? Let us know. Brenton, if I had to redesign how charge payments were captured, I'd make it standard that you have all your subscriptions loaded into the car system, plug in the car, knows which station you're at. I mean, that would be like heaven, right? Should be the gold standard as what Tesla's doing at the moment. I'm sure it's just a software update away if they really wanted to, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Peter agrees with us, gents. Pheasant's Nest Ampol is fantastic. Expensive. I mean, yeah, it is on the pricey side, but I charge it every Friday night as it's convenient. I agree. Adding a solid charge for a night of Uber after a drive from Canberra. That's great. Don't forget Ampol chargers get free donuts as well. Okay. I think there's a Dunkin' Donuts inside the Ampol service station. I mean, why are we plugging Ampol? They should be paying us to do this. I'm going to stop plugging Ampol. It's good. Okay, we'll leave it at that. EV installed infrastructure at Sutton Forest for more chargers, but when they expanded from 2 to 4, the initial 2 were down for quite a few days, despite the conduits being there already. Yeah, look, EV's not bad. There's 4 on that side, but I think the Ampol's still better. Not too much further away. If you can afford the range. Question for us, gents: how do we clean our Tesla? Let's go. How do we clean our Tesla? Rahul, start with you.
more regularly than I would any other car that I have owned previously. I don't know if the people see in the background. I do have white seats in here. 2 young kids, a 5-year-old and an 18-month-old. I don't know what I was thinking, but there you go. A lot of mess made in here. Don't take it to any drive-in washings with the, whatever you call it, the roller sort of brushes and stuff. It's just going to leave streaks and marks on your car. I mostly just hand wash the car with a soft sort of cloth and a soft sort of sorry, not bristles, soft sort of cloth with brushes on it as well. Yeah, and mostly hand wash and a lot of Windex. Keep it sparkly.
Nice. Riz, how do you wash your car?
I used to once upon a time. I used to drive a Tesla. Now, it's used to. I was in an MG. So,
You don't wash it.
Generally at home with the bucket. I don't even have a 2-bucket system. But Tesla is so, like, the Model 3 is so easy to wash, purely because how low it is and the rest of it. But yeah, just that. Give it a good vacuum. And yeah, put it back into my carport. Make sure I don't leave any damaged batteries on the next to it in case something does go wrong. But yeah, then it gets stowed away, all hidden away where no one else knows it exists.
Myself, I generally use 2-bucket system. Quick rinse before, 2 buckets, wipe it down. If I'm being on a road trip, I get the pressure washer out, avoid the sensors, and she is as good as new. Thanks for that question. Very good. Let's move on to the next story. So just quickly, Model Y has been crowned winner of car sales best electric car for 2023. Thank you, Sawyer. Sticking with Sawyer, Tesla has officially introduced Powerwall 3 on its website along with its specs. Fantastic. Okay, so 13.5 kilowatt hours, same as before. I've got the same Powerwall 2. Solar inverter directly integrated now. 6 solar inputs. Okay, very good. That's different from the AC coupled system. So having a solar inverter is actually pretty handy. Might save some costs buying another inverter for your system. On-grid power, 11.5 kilowatt continuous. Wow, that's huge. Currently, it's only 5, I think, at the moment. And then backup power is also 11.5 continuous. That's, yeah, like I said, that's huge. That's probably one of the biggest benefits, I would say. Good for charging EVs now, because we could charge at 11 kilowatts here in Australia, although you probably drain your battery pretty quickly. System expansion available, 40.5 kilowatt hour max addition per unit, 287 pounds, 16% lighter than Powerwall Plus. Dimensions, and Tesla says Powerwall 3 is coming 2024. Excellent. Okay, let's have a look at some pictures. So that is the difference between 3 and 2. As you can see, it does look a lot slimmer. Side on, I'm glad the casing is there now, because some of those early prototype ones looked a bit naked, I must say. So it looks a bit more like a complete product. And they've got the Tesla badging now as opposed to the Tesla words. There it is there in the garage. Oh, that looks like my garage, guys. I've got the, what do you call it? I forgot what it's called now. The coating, the flakes on the floor.
Is that before or after Jez's upgrade?
This is mid Jez's upgrade. So his cabinets are new. Thanks, Jez. Is that Model X in the background? That can't be mine then, because I don't have Model X. I'm not allowed to have one. Oh, that's definitely my home. Look at that beautiful house. Yeah, that's where I entertain everyone.
I think that's the house you do your Saturday live streams from.
It is. Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, beautiful house. But look, yeah, you can store the Powerwall outside as well. Cool, that's good to know. And let's quickly, speaking of Powerwall and energy in general, stick with this one. So Renew Economy is saying Tesla is getting ready to take on Australia Energy Utilities in landmark move for the grid. Why are all my ads on? I thought I'd turn them off. Anyway, so yeah, I think there's no details yet, but what we know is that they've registered, I think, in Australia for new applications lodged with the Australian Energy Market Operator for a retail license. So that's a good sign. There's already kind of a virtual power plant in South Australia at the moment, but I guess gauging from what they do in the States, where is it? I saw earlier today what they do in Texas. We can probably guess as what they will be doing here. I'll keep looking. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's no details as yet. just that we know that they've registered, and I look forward to seeing what they offer for electricity. That'd be good, particularly if you've got. I think you need to have an EV, a Tesla, or a Powerwall to be eligible to be a customer. From memory, reading this article. Awesome. Okay, so let's take some more comments real quick from the audience. Let's see. Any tips on how to? Thanks, Celia, for this comment. Any tips on how to negotiate early delivery for inventory stock in Sydney? Offer 2 weeks, but we're away. Then it's novated. Car is available. Lease company paid today. Cool. Okay. Any tips, Riz? Maybe you've got some tips for us.
Look, I think it's earlier delivery of inventory stock. I guess it's just talking to them, going in and just having a quick chat or giving them a call. The difficulty is when you ring them over the phone, they sometimes, who knows where the call centers are or where these people are, but sometimes it's best going into the delivery center and talking to someone. And they seem to be a bit more understanding of your situation. Whereas over the phone, sometimes you just don't know who you're getting. So that way, if it puts people on the spot, at least it helps you in the end to get that car, because if they've got a car and everything else has been sorted, as you say, then it should be fairly straightforward for them.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Riz. It's harder to say no to someone face to face, right? Easier to say no in an email or on the phone. So get in their faces when you go into the store and ask them the question, in the politest way, of course. As Rahul says here, nominate someone to collect on your behalf, which someone has asked me to do too. It's just write a letter of authority. It's very straightforward. Scotty, back on the point of the Powerwall 3, Tesla will need to allow throttling for VPP customers on export limits. Yeah, actually, exporting 11 kilowatts would be amazing, right? John saying Katoomba is one of the busiest New South Wales tourist destinations. Does not have a DC fast charger. There is one at Blaxland, which is not too far on the mountains, nearest being Lithgow, NRMA, and Lawson EV. So check that one out. There are some destination chargers, yes. Right, what else have we got? Kangaroo's got a...
sorry, Tom and Riz. Just going to say the new LFP cattle batteries that are looking at coming out, I think, in Q1 2024 would be a good one to discuss.
Here we go. I've got it here. Most underrated news at IAA Mobility was the new Cattle official LFP battery. For me, this is the end of ICE vehicles. The impressive 4C charging speed means 20% to 80% in 10 minutes. Rahul, that's too quick for us as family men. In winter, minus 10 degrees Celsius, it takes 30 minutes. That's still not bad. I've sat there for an hour and -5 in America. So 10 minutes, I mean, that's not enough for a pee, is it? Surely.
Definitely not with 2 young kids. I think even on this trip, every single time that we've charged and we plug the car in, it's like, hey, we only need enough to go on to the next destination. Luckily, it's quiet time of the year. There's not been any other cars mostly. We've never made it out in less than 20 to 30 minutes. By then, the car's pretty much ready to go. Yep. So this is a game changer, definitely.
Yeah, look at that, 300 kilowatts, and it's going up and up, and it's 34%. It's still relatively high state of charge there. Wow, that's still going. I've never seen anything over 200, anything at that 30-40%. Oh my goodness, that's quick. 400 kilowatts at 40%. That's mind blowing. 600 amps. That's probably going to plateau there, surely. Look at that. Look how quick that is. That's insane. 50% already. And this video is only like 2 minutes long. Okay, it's dropping. But still, come on. I'm going to fast forward. Let's see. Still going at 340 here. Look at that. At 80%, it's still 200 kilowatts, 250 kilowatts.
That's incredible.
That's insane. What sorcery is this? And look at the mileage. I mean, that's probably CD. What is it in China? Forget the name of their standard. It's probably a bit overblown. But yeah, 10 minutes in using that charging rate is that's mind blowing. It's pretty good. Sensei saying use a document you can fill out and sign. You can nominate someone to go pick it up, like Rahul, for example. But thanks, Sensei. That's a good point. And yes, don't forget to use the referral code. get some discounts on your car. Thanks, Jez. Contributing to the garage, throwing some serious cash roller towards Riz for his generous Jez garage compliment for a life-size cutout of Tesla Tom for his background. I don't know whether Riz wants that in his house. I don't know. We see each other enough, I think.
I miss you, Tom.
There's enough to go around. Don't worry. Thanks, Jez, for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, Matthew's saying, imagine how much heat is coming out of that pack. Yeah, you'd hope it'd be liquid cooled, right? Good cook on that. Scotty's saying 800 volt car. Yeah, you'd hope so too. Let's whip through these real quick and then we'll wrap up for the night. Thanks everyone again for joining us on an odd time, 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. This is from the Driven Liquor Chain. Oh, sorry. Let me put this up. Okay, so Liquor Chain adds more fast charging stations as it encourages customers to charge up while they stop for their latest drop. Shop for the latest drop. Okay. This is obviously Dan Murphy's. So this is good. Now, we talked about this in the past. So national, multinational chains putting EV chargers, it just makes sense because they normally have a car park that you can probably sacrifice a couple of spots for EV chargers. Good.
Yeah, and I think they've extended their partnership by 12 months with EV, which is good to see. Yeah, and again, just, personally speaking, coming over on the way from on the way from Sydney to Eden, there was a charger at Dan Murphy's at Bateman's Bay, in conjunction with also a charger being at, I think, the NRMA charger at the Bateman's Bay Council or Information sort of Visitor Centre there as well. So if that charger is not working or has not been working in the past or is busy, now you have the option of an extra charger there as well at Bateman's Bay. And I think both of them are 50 kilowatts.
That's good. I mean, look, having more chargers around is going to help with range anxiety as well. If you know that one's down, you can just move on, not far away. Oh, thanks, Celia. Appreciate that. $10 from you. Really appreciate that. Glad I could help you with your, with your case, with your pickup. So appreciate it. And she says, we're 200 kilometers away, so might need to plead our case over the phone. Yeah, pick up the phone, maybe do a Zoom call if they will allow you. Yeah. And this is the Tesla GigaPress supplier IDRA posted a photo of what looks like to be a 9,000-ton Cybertruck GigaPress. Oh my goodness, that thing is massive. That's insane. That's like a whole host of people. Amazing. Cool. Matthew's saying the EV chargers at Coles and St. Leonard's with 6 AC chargers next to them was pretty cool. Need more of that. Yes, having backup AC chargers is phenomenal. One more I want to finish with, everyone. So let's see whether I can pop this up. Yep. So this is the... Is this the e-Peugeot, Riz?
Is it the e-Transit?
This is Bryce's article. Going electric won't steal their tradies utes or their transit vans. Could be.
Yeah, is it the e-Transit in the photo?
Ford, yes. Okay. Ford e-Transit, you're right. Yeah. We know, Riz, you recently tested the e-Partner?
Yeah, the e-Partner. That was quite good. I've been in the e-Transit before as well. Bryce took me for a ride a couple of months ago. And that was quite cool. Very expensive though, $100,000+. I mean, no large van is cheap, but yeah, it was quite good. You can see it being used for deliveries, but just the price is quite expensive. The e-Partner is much smaller, but it's sort of around $60,000 mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, to be honest. I mean, I don't run a trade, but just theoretically, logistically, surely it makes sense to, particularly if you're not driving too far in the day, you charge up whenever you can overnight, and then you've got a full charge in the morning. So particularly if you've got an LFP battery too. We'll see. And Sydney EV, anyone see the stats on the planned LDV 4x4 ute with 600 kilometer range coming to Oz? I think that's confirmed as well. So we'll try and get some stats for you. Sydney EV, Rob. We did go, Riz and I went to the last LDV launch. So hopefully they'll invite us back and we'll check that out for you guys and drive one. They didn't let us drive that off-road, I remember last time. But if this is 4x4, who knows? Maybe we'll go off-road next time. That'll be fun. And with the press, they're building Riz's Cybertruck.
They are 2029. They've said.
Yeah,
I have to go to the
2029.
showroom and talk to them in person.
That's right. Face to face. It's harder to say no. And again, thank you, Celia, for the $10 for tonight too. Appreciate that. And Jez as well for pledging. And Sensei for pledging tonight too. Thank you so much. Gents, I think that might be it for tonight. It is 9 o'clock. Thank you for joining us at a special time. Of course, we couldn't make it tomorrow because of the BYD event. They're launching the seal, so that should be good to check out in person finally. So, yes, if you've missed it tonight, just watch it on replay. We did discuss a lot of things, and thank you, Tassie EV, for joining us. We did talk about battery fire, so rewind and have a watch. Should be good. Okay, cool. Thanks so much, everyone. And thank you, Rahul and Riz, for joining us as always. Rahul, enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Riz. Yeah, we've got one more day here before we head home on Friday. Looking forward to being live streaming from the comfort of a proper home. But you know what? Had no issues with charging, have had no issues with the car, have had no issues with range anxiety. Everything's gone stunningly easy. So yeah, another long week ruined by a Sorry, folks.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves with your family, and have a safe drive back home, of course, to Melbourne. Riz, thank you so much once again. As always, I shall see you tomorrow night in Sydney.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining us, and more content to come, and see you on Saturday morning if you're around.
That's right. So yes, Riz and I do a special Saturday morning stream, of course. Join us. We will confirm the time later on this week, but we do I guess we call it Weekend Extra. We wrap up with other news that we didn't cover tonight on the stream. So join us Saturday morning. Riz and I will be there to chat. Thanks everyone for joining us live. Thank you for your comments. Love the engagement. Thank you for the comments and questions. And Tassie EV, no, won't be live streaming. Just too hard to live stream at the launch, but there will be a video straight after, I'm sure. So stay tuned for that. And if you're watching on a replay, drop a comment if you've got any questions. And if you're watching or listening to us on audio podcast, thank you so much once again. Thank you, Riz. Thank you, Rahul. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. And take care. Happy charging. See you next time.